beautiful people. So I happened to stumble across Kitty Scrapbook's tag, and I've never tried a tag before, so I thought that I would give it a try this afternoon. And I've relocated myself out of my craft room because it is a hot mess. And well, I just didn't feel like cleaning it up today, so here I am in my family room. Okay, so let's get started with the first question that Kitty Scrapbooker poses for all of us scrappy people in the world. All right, so number one, what or why did you start your channel? Why did you start doing process videos? So I started doing scrapbooking videos, oh my gosh, in 2009. If you go all the way back and see my very first scrapbooking video, it's insane. It literally is sideways. Like, you have to watch it like this because I don't think I even had a phone I was using. I had like some, I think maybe it was my laptop or something. I don't know. Whatever it was absolutely crazy. And I went on and posted a sideways video. And my scrapbooking space was a closet. That was the only kind of unclaimed space. And so it was a little small walk-in closet, and that is what I used as my scrap space. And I made my first video back in 2009. And I don't think we were calling them process videos at that point. I can't even remember. And so every now and then I would actually share my process in terms of making 12 by 12 pages. And I stopped scrapbooking for a while, and then I got back into it. And then when I returned to it, I decided to pick up Project Life. And it was a while. I picked up Project Life in 2013. I don't think I started making Project Life videos until 2014. I think 2014, yeah. So I'm fairly new to this, but I started doing it because it's fun. And more than that, I think I also started making videos because it was a way to connect with other people, with other women. It can be lonely, I think, at least for me. And I love people. I love connecting with people. I love being with people. And it can be a fairly lonely thing if you don't have a community, a local community of scrapbookers. And I don't have that. I've tried very hard over the years. For many, many years, you would host crops in my home. I posted on Meetup, and random women would come to my home and scrapbook with me, and it was so wonderful. But I no longer do that, and I'm not really tied in closely with any online community. So for me, posting videos is a way to connect with other crafty sisters out there. Whether you live here or in Australia or in UK or wherever, Brazil. And so I like having that kind of creative sisterhood and sharing online. And yeah, that really makes me happy. It supports me and who I am through the process of sharing and learning about other people and other projects and other styles and other creative passions. So that's why I started making videos, and I think that's why I keep coming back and keep making videos. So, question number 2. What is your scrapbooking style at the moment, and how has it changed? My scrapbooking style at the moment is, generally speaking, it's Project Life. So I started as a 12 by 12 scrapbooker back in 2004, like 2004. And it was totally by accident. My son was attending a Montessori school, and they always have, when they do a birthday celebration, the kid walks around the earth or the moon, and they ask for parents to bring in like a poster board of pictures and milestones of the child. And so I didn't want to do a poster board because I was like, I'm going to do something special. So I went to the craft store looking for something special. And I So all this scrapbooking stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I've never seen this before. And so I put together a very, very rudimentary, basic scrapbooking, like it had 5 pages album. And, you know, I cut out my son's head, just a big head with a bunch of like stickies all around it, stickers. But that was my introduction. And so I continued to scrapbook, largely again 12 by 12. Occasionally I would do mini albums. But I've always been, I think, a scrapbooker who does not necessarily a scrapbooker who does not necessarily care about the brand, the style. I like what I like, but I also like a lot of it. So my pages tend to be chunky. They tend to have a lot of stuff on them. But I do what works for me. So I'd say my style, it's impossible to put it in a box to check off anything in particular. Sometimes it can be more simplistic. Sometimes it can be totally kind of crazy. Sometimes I like bright colors. Sometimes I like to work in monotone, in blacks and grays and whites. It really just depends on my mood. I think I scrap based on how I'm feeling and what's going on with me. And so that's not limited to a particular style. And even right now, although Project Life is the format that I choose, I don't think I feel limited by that. And I could go back to 12 by 12. I could try something else. I've tried art journaling, which I really enjoy. I've dabbled in painting. In fact, I really enjoy painting. And so I'm off and on with that. So my style is all over the place. I'm all over the place because that's just me. Okay, number 3. Oh no, my phone has died with the questions. Okay, number 3. What project have you been meaning to start for a while? So the only thing I can say is, all right, so admission. When I was in my heyday of 12 by 12 scrapping, a lot of that took place when I participated in the Scrap and Style website, the Sis TV, and there were always all these challenges. That was probably some of my most creative time because there was so much going on, and I really enjoyed the sharing and the community of people on Sis TV. And I was easily making, I don't know, 4+ pages a week. And so I just couldn't keep up with purchasing the albums to actually hold all of these pages. So eventually I just started putting them in boxes. And so currently I literally have brown boxes. I know, the shame of pages in these brown boxes. And even when we moved, I still lugged, those boxes. And so my main project is to take those pages out of the boxes and to put them in the plastic 12 by 12 scrapbooking containers. I've seen them all over at Michael's, and literally what I want to do is just like pick one up, take a 40% coupon off, and buy it, and just kind of continually do that because I always need a steal of a deal. And I'm thinking that that's going to be the best way to hold on to many of these pages. Some of these pages, the best of them are in albums, but others, although I think they are wonderful and my boys may want to look back on them when they get older, I don't think I need to put all of them into albums. And so the solution that I've come up with are the scrapbooking, plastic scrapbooking containers. So that would be the biggest kind of project that I have on my to-do list that I'd like to accomplish. Okay, next up, let's see, number 4. What collection would you save from your burning craft room, new and old, or what collections do you still wish you owned? So what collection would I save from my burning craft room? So in terms of new, if you have seen me ever scrapbook, you know there is one particular brand, and although I'm not a brand person per se, there's one particular brand that I go back to time and time again. And I swear to you, I really do try not to grab my Tim Holtz. But I don't know. It just happens. I just grab it. So whether it's his little teeny typewriter letters or whether it's those black plastic letters, I end up pulling them all of the time. So the Tim Holtz, and the Tim Holtz phrases and words, the sentimental, really kind of inspirational. I mean, I love them. And so I constantly use them on my page. They are my go-to. So if my craft room was burning down and I'd already gotten all my albums out, probably the next thing I would go for in terms of product would be my Tim Holtz stash, one. And two, probably my wood veneer, because that's the other thing that I absolutely adore. Love using on my pages. They do make my albums a little bit chunky, but love them. So that's what my arms will be full of as I run out of my space. Okay. Was that the whole question? New and old, or what collections do you wish you still owned? Oh, the old part. So old items. My favorite paper collection or designer company that designed paper that I absolutely, unequivocally, always loved was Sassafras Lass. Loved it. I don't know if you remember Sassafras Lass, but the little edge that all of us kind of trim off beyond the 12 by 12, Sassafras Lass would use a scallop design or some type of really cool, funky design, and they would actually have, it would be in some pattern or something, and so it wasn't wasted. Like now, you have all those little slips of paper and you just chunk them in the trash. But Sassafras Lass came up with this idea of actually making that waste usable. Love them. And so even now when I go back and look at those old pages, I see those little slivers, those scallops and stuff from the Sassafras Lass paper, and I love their designs and their patterns. It was exquisite, and they don't exist anymore. And I actually went to check this morning to see how many sheets of Sassafras Lass I still have, and I've got about 5. I know. Let me know if you still have some Sassafras Lass. We should have a contest on that one. But yeah, so that would be probably my go-to old paper that I would want to save, particularly because the company no longer exists. Okay, so next up, number 5. What paper in your stash do you regret buying? I don't really think I regret buying any particular paper, in part because if it's not a paper that I really, really love, I have it in a pile for little girls that come over. So a lot of my girlfriends, they have daughters, and their daughters love getting in my craft space. So stuff that I'm not particularly fond of, or I've just used it so many times that I'm over it, I will put all of that in a separate little basket, and that goes to them whenever they come over so they can play with it. So there was some My Mind's Eye, I think, stuff that I did have that was like a craft paper. This was before PL was really big, but they kind of had the paper divided out in little journaling blocks. And I bought a whole bunch of it, and in the end, I really wasn't digging it so much. So maybe the Mind's Eye, I think that's who it was. That would probably be about it. There was a while when American Crafts was doing a whole bunch of graphic designs on their paper, and I got over that. I wasn't so crazy about that, and I still have some of their early papers as well. So maybe that. Yeah. Okay. So next, number 6. Where do you want to take your channel in the next year? That is a really good, hard question. I think when I got into making videos, I wasn't really imagining that people would watch. It was for me. I don't mean that in a selfish way, but just I wanted to share, and if literally it was just one other person and their dog watching, I was going to be okay with that. And generally speaking, that's kind of how I feel like I create and I share. because it feeds me, and it's like the icing on the top when other people watch and when they comment and when they say nice things. Like, that's amazing. But the first and primary reason I think I create and share is because it allows me to feel some type of connection, even if, again, if it's just one person on the other side. So I think my biggest challenge in terms of having a YouTube channel is that I know I don't post consistently. And part of that is just my life. I have several weeks off in the summer, and during the summer, I usually take advantage of that, and I have a little bit more time to create, to scrapbook, to paint, to garden, to just run outside without the same stress that I have during the school year. But what that means is that during the school year, I am not very consistent. And try as I might to post regularly during most of the year, that just becomes really difficult. And instead, I post when I can. I post when I feel compelled to do so, called to do so, if you will. So in a beautiful, perfect world, I would love my channel to include more regular postings, but I don't know how practical that is. And I think the other piece of this is that, when you start putting things on your calendar, right, they can become a to-do, something to check off, an obligation. And the very last thing that I ever want to happen is that I never want my creativity to be an obligation, because my list of obligations are long, but I don't want my creative energy to be an obligation. And so on the one hand, while I would love my YouTube energy to offer consistent videos, on the other hand, I love that I am free, and that my YouTube channel is a space where when I'm able and when I feel compelled to post, I do, but it's also never a chore. It is always a joy. It is always a privilege. It's something that makes me feel alive and brightens my day when I have the chance to post and to share. And the communication back and forth, the comments, all of that, just it's a wonderful experience, but I never want to take it for granted. And I never, again, want it to just be something that I'm checking off on my to-do list. So I don't know really where that leaves me. I don't know what that means in terms of my channel. I want to simply appreciate where I am right now. I want to appreciate the people that take the time to watch and to say, hey, and that's enough for me. I don't think I have to have a 5-year, 10-year plan. I think that's enough for me, just to be in the moment now and to be grateful for the virtual relationships, creative sisterhoods that I am able to enjoy. Yeah. Okay. And last but not least, question number 7, who would you love to collaborate with on a scrapbooking YouTube channel? Anybody. Absolutely anybody. It's been 2 weeks. About 2 weeks ago, I decided I was going to do this Wonderbox thing. And I can't remember what the impetus was, like why it really came to me. But mainly, I just wanted to challenge myself to use some things that I haven't used in a while. I think I've been thumbing through old pages and looking at these old pages like, wow, I can't believe I used to use that, or oh my gosh, I can't believe I used that. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to kind of stretch my creative muscle and use some products or things that I normally don't use? And so that was kind of what was in my mind when I decided to start the Wonderbox challenges. I wasn't thinking that other people would necessarily participate, but I was thinking that, man, wouldn't it be awesome if there are other folks out there that were just looking for something new to try and wanted to try with me. So the idea of collaborating, I think, really is intriguing, and I would love to do that. I would so love to do that. So if you have any ideas, or you want to collaborate with me, let me know. I'm totally in for that. I like the idea, and I think what keeps me coming back to YouTube is that because often scrapbooking is it's not isolating. It's a very individual thing. Like, I do it by myself. I haven't been to a crop in so many years. It's ridiculous. I don't have any of my dearest and closest friends that actually create or scrapbook or paint or anything. So what I do in my little craft room, I do all by myself. So connecting with you guys on the other side of the screen, that really means something to me, because it's a way for me to get beyond just my space and to interact with other people who enjoy and are passionate about something that I'm also passionate about. And I am not somebody who likes to be all alone. I love to be with other people. I like to imagine that my life motto truly is hugs. And I say that, and I say hugs all the time, not because I just mean it in a very light way, but I literally believe in embracing people. Like, all people should be embraced. And like, I want you to see me. I want to be authentic about how I present and give myself to you. And I also want to embrace all of you. And I really try to do that with everybody that I interact with. I really try to see them as they want to be seen, not as I want to see them, not as I want to imagine them, but to really see them and to embrace them, and to hold that as a gift, as a very special gift. And so hugs and giving hugs, and I've been told, I mean, I will hug everybody. Just the other day we were at my son's school. This is totally a tangent. At my son's school, talking to the counselor about some things that have been going on. At the end of the meeting, I jumped up and hugged her. My husband was like, "You don't know her." I was like, "I know, but I felt like we connected, and so I hugged her." So all that to say, I would absolutely love to collaborate, because this video is now 22 minutes. I would love to collaborate. I would love to virtually, creatively hug someone else, to exchange creative energy and ideas. So yeah, okay. I could just go on and on. Well, this has been interesting, and I don't know if it's been useful at all, but it's certainly been fun. So thanks for just stopping by. If you happen to watch all 23 minutes, kudos to you, but otherwise, hugs.